first learned about cybersecurity probably when I was relatively young, like say high school age, about 16. Being the age that I am, we were kind of around at the advent of the internet, and it took a good few years before people came to realize that there requires some form of moderation and security around the internet as well. So that was the kind of time it was coming through. Yeah, so what was I, 16, so 20 years ago. Yeah. I wanted to work in cybersecurity from about 16 actually, when I first learned about it. I grew up with computers. My mother, she worked for BT, so we had the internet at my house very, very early on. And I just loved playing around with it. Unfortunately, I went to a school that kind of pushed me towards more classical studies, and I ended up doing a biochemistry degree rather than what I wanted to do, which was computer forensics. And I did many jobs between now and then, and finally eventually got the chance to work in cybersecurity. And the main reason I think for me working here is the constant evolution of the field that we're working in. So every day is a new challenge. There's always something new, always something harder, and constant learning is something that I love anyway. So yeah, that's kind of like the biggest draw, is the constant challenge that is given to me in this industry. So like I said, I've had a lot of jobs in the past however many years, and I've changed career a couple times realistically. This one's definitely been the hardest, but I think it's because it's the hardest industry that I've gotten into. So for me, it was a case of I put a lot of my own personal time into learning a lot of stuff around cybersecurity, and then I applied for loads of jobs. I never really got anywhere, just because I didn't have the actual industry experience. But I got very, very lucky with AMR CyberSecurity, obviously giving me the chance to kind of prove myself with what I had been able to learn outside of the industry and on my own. And then obviously they bolstered my education with funding and other courses that I've taken since joining AMR CyberSecurity. So it's not the easiest to change your job or your career, especially in your mid-30s. But I think if you want it enough, and you can spare the time, then it's definitely doable. My job is actually hugely varied. So I do everything from infrastructure testing, so whether it's internal or external, web app testing, API testing, hardware testing, vishing. So yeah, my job is hugely varied. Obviously I don't do those things every single day. So mostly the job is based around infrastructure testing, web app stuff. But working with AMR CyberSecurity is great because we're such a small, tight-knit group of testers that we all get to do everything. Which I don't think I'd get that kind of experience if I was in a bigger company. For example, I would kind of be, do one section and then maybe in a couple of years do another section, that kind of stuff. Whereas here, I've done, all of those things, and it's been very difficult, but also extremely rewarding. For me personally, I really, really enjoy the social engineering side of things. So for me, it was like the phishing and vishing side. Not to say that there's not a huge technical side to especially the phishing side of things as well. But for me personally, I really enjoy the kind of attempting to get people to do stuff that they really shouldn't be doing, and kind of like talking them into that kind of mindset and getting them to do what they shouldn't be doing. Yeah, so I think for me, one of the biggest influence that I had, or one of the best tools that I used actually, was a website called Try Hack Me. It's a website that basically gives you all of the knowledge, and it gives you the tools that you need to learn how to do pretty much all of the basic stuff that is covered in penetration testing. So that website was fundamental to my education, really, from getting from zero to where I am today. Another one which is like slightly more advanced is Hack the Box, which is another good one, but that is definitely more advanced. And I think for me, it's kind of the best thing that I did was utilize those tools, learn as much as I can. And like I said, I went to so many job interviews for penetration testing, and didn't get those jobs. So there were so many times where I could have just been like, well, you know, I kind of missed the boat on this one, but I kept persevering and applying for more jobs and more jobs and more jobs. I'd get to interview stage, but my experience just wasn't there. And like I said, I think the perseverance thing trumps the luck that I got with applying for AMR CyberSecurity. If I had just stopped, I would never have got this job. So I think perseverance and just giving the time, you need to really put in a lot of time to learn what you need to learn to get into the industry.